Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Jack Devine. Welcome back to another episode of Jacksnax. Today we're going to snack on the blues, some basic beginners stuff. So if you're an advanced player, click elsewhere or stick around, feel free. So we're going to be working out of the key of B, one of my favorite keys for blues. It just has this nice thick throaty sound to it. So we're going to be talking about three concepts that really helped shine a light on how this music is structured and how it works, and some of the central kind of geometry of it. Okay, so that's just the way my brain looked at it when I was a kid. So I wanted to share these watershed moments that I had back then with you, because if you haven't had them, maybe they'll help you. All right, so the first is this interval that exists within all three chords that are within the blues. Okay, so the 1, the 4, and the 5. Okay, now the cool thing is this shape inverts. So the meaning of this shape changes as we move it, right? Relative to the B, that's the flat 7 and its major third. But when the 4 chord comes in and we move it back, the notes flip-flop. Okay, so the major third becomes the flat 7 of the 4, and the flat 7 becomes the third of the 4. So if you hear, right, now we're going to flip it again. Super cool. Now when we want to go to the 5 chord, we just go up 1, 4, and then back to 1. Again, okay? So I want you to set up a loop of, just playing a nice blues and just experiment with that. Whatever your progression is. Okay, take advantage of that. Always go off of the flat 7 on the 1 chord and then back. Now granted, this obviously works all over the place, so that's the same kind of thing. You could also look at it here. Okay. So look around, enjoy, you'll find them here. It's that tritone. When we see that, okay, and you can use this as a little gateway, that kind of thing. That's concept number 1. Number 2 is this idea really baffled me about how we were playing flat 3s and flat 5s over chords that didn't have those notes in them. My brain was just incapable for the longest time of understanding why. So I just started doing it and kind of mimicking a friend of mine who was doing this style of music. And eventually I started to get my mind and ear trained to how those intervals kind of function nicely against the chords to create tension. So what are we doing? We're taking, let's say, the minor third and coming into the major third on our way to another note. Okay. Yeah, you can linger on that note. Okay, but it's really hard. That note, you're never just going to hold it there against a major chord. You're always going to be giving some degree of directionality to it. You're always going to be bending it up a little bit, okay? And when you start doing that, when you start introducing that directionality, what we're doing is alluding to that major third. That's really the essence of the blues, is this distance between this note and this one is very very much up for negotiation, okay? We can play with that a lot, okay? But let's just start by avoiding the microtonal element, okay? Which is like a huge part of that music too. And let's just go for a straight, like if we were playing on a keyboard, we would hit the D and then the D sharp, and then we would come up to the F sharp, okay? So that would be flat 3, 3, 5. That's a great lick. Or flat 3, 2, 1. Okay, we can also a huge thing. So that's over the 1 chord. All right, that's over the 4 chord. Okay, so you've got to learn it and okay, and obviously in all different permutations throughout the neck. But that idea is great, okay? Or you can bend it. In particular, that one's great. You don't have 2 fingers in the same fret. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we're looking at now 2 concepts. The third concept, I've been hinting at it a little bit, is using flat 7s in a more selective way than just kind of blowing up and down your minor pentatonic shapes. All right, think about the power that note has relative to the note the chord you're playing over, okay? This is a note that has incredible power within the system, okay? It indicates that it's time for change. That's the best way to look at it. I mean, you can hold on it, yes, but I think you ultimately end up weakening the structure and the ability. Its true purpose for me is to indicate that it's time to go someplace else. All right, so I use the 7 as a way of getting into the 3rd of the 4 chord and the way out of the 1 chord into the 5 chord. And when I'm on the 4 chord, I'll use the flat 7 on my way back into the 3rd of the root. Let me show you how that sounds, okay? So, right, see? So granted, my blues is structured so that it's kind of happening a lot, right? But that's for the purpose of this lesson. You can lay off of that flat 7 until just before the 4 chord comes in, okay? So if you're doing something with a longer ride on the 1, right, for a while, then all of a sudden, there. Okay, so by going, we're coming into the 3rd of the 4, okay, and then into the 3rd from below of the 5, and when we're over the 4 chord, when we're chugging there, we want to go use the flat 7 of the 4 as the gateway into the 3rd again of our 1 chord. Okay, so those 3 little, I don't know, concepts kind of all conspired together for me to help open up and illuminate some of the pathways towards the sounds of the blues that I was looking for. That plus some some vocabulary and licks and things like that. So I hope that these 3 ideas kind of can open your mind up a little bit and point the way towards some sounds and concepts that may have been eluding you as a beginning guitar player exploring the blues sounds. So if this kind of thing, is whetting your appetite, please stick around. There's lots more to come here on Jacksnax, and I want to thank you very much for tuning in and subscribing and doing whatever it is you're doing. Keep playing guitar, and thank you very much. All right, signing off from Brooklyn. This is Jack Devine again. Adios, amigos.